It's my life and it's now or never. All your best when's your daddy gonna talk to you?
Rock history isn't just built on great bands. It's built on defining moments. Moments when everything seemed to be falling apart. Album sales were declining, record labels were losing faith, musical trends were changing, fans were moving on. For some bands, one more failure could have meant the end of the road. But then a song came along. A single song powerful enough to change everything. Some of these tracks saved struggling careers. Others revived bands that many people had already written off. And a few transformed talented musicians into global superstars and rock legends. Today, we're counting down 10 songs that changed the fate of some of the greatest rock bands of all time. These aren't just hit records. They're the songs that kept the dream alive and altered music history forever. Let's begin with number 10. Number 10, It's My Life, Bon Jovi.
It's my life, it's now or never.
By the late 1990s, many people believed Bon Jovi's glory days were over. The music world had changed dramatically. Grunge, alternative rock, and a new generation of artists were dominating the charts, while many of the rock bands that ruled the 1980s were being left behind. After nearly 2 decades in the spotlight, Bon Jovi faced a question that no legendary band ever wants to hear. Did audiences still care? Then, in 2000, It's My Life arrived. From its opening notes, the song felt like a bold declaration. This wasn't the sound of a band desperately trying to relive the past. It was the sound of musicians refusing to be forgotten. With its explosive energy, modern production, and powerful message about living life on your own terms, the song quickly became a worldwide sensation. Almost overnight, Bon Jovi connected with an entirely new generation of listeners without losing their longtime fans. It's My Life wasn't just another hit. It was a statement that Bon Jovi was still standing, still relevant, and far from finished. Number 9, Runaway, Bon Jovi.
All your best when's your daddy gonna talk to you?
Long before the sold-out arenas and multi-platinum albums, Jon Bon Jovi was simply a young musician chasing what seemed like an impossible dream. He spent his days working around recording studios, making demo tapes, and hoping someone would eventually listen. If Runaway had failed, the story might have ended there.
Where you live, girls talk about the social lives.
But something unexpected happened. Local radio stations began playing the song. Listeners started calling in to request it again and again. What began as an obscure recording quickly generated buzz throughout the music industry. Record labels suddenly took notice. Doors that had once been closed began to open.
She's a little runaway.
The success of Runaway gave Jon Bon Jovi the opportunity to build the band that would eventually carry his name. It wasn't just his first hit. It was the foundation of a rock empire that would last for decades. Number 8, The Boys Are Back in Town, Thin Lizzy.
Just got back today. Them wild-eyed boys that had been away.
By the mid-1970s, Thin Lizzy was under enormous pressure. Despite years of hard work, the band still hadn't achieved the commercial breakthrough their record company was hoping for. A few more disappointments could have meant the end. Ironically, even the members of Thin Lizzy didn't believe The Boys Are Back in Town would become the defining song of their career. But once it was released as a single, everything changed. The song exploded on radio stations everywhere, winning over listeners with its infectious energy and unforgettable guitar-driven sound. In a remarkably short time, Thin Lizzy went from a struggling band fighting for survival to one of the most talked-about acts in rock music. Sometimes a single song can change a band's destiny. For Thin Lizzy, that song was The Boys Are Back in Town. Number 7, You Give Love a Bad Name, Bon Jovi. In 1986, Bon Jovi was a promising rock band, but being promising isn't the same as being legendary. They needed a true breakthrough, a song powerful enough to force the world to pay attention. Then came You Give Love a Bad Name. The moment it hit the airwaves, audiences couldn't get enough of it. Radio stations played it constantly. Fans were singing along after only a few listens. The song quickly climbed to #1 in America and became the biggest turning point of Bon Jovi's career up to that point. Within months, the band had transformed from rising stars into a global phenomenon. The game had completely changed.
Number 6. Wind of Change, Scorpions.
Very few songs in rock history become symbols of an entire era. Wind of Change is one of them. The late 1980s were a time of extraordinary political transformation. The Iron Curtain was beginning to fall. Eastern Europe was changing before the world's eyes. After performing in the Soviet Union, Klaus Meine sensed that history was unfolding around him. Inspired by those experiences, he wrote Wind of Change. No one could have predicted that a simple ballad featuring a memorable whistled melody would become a worldwide anthem. The song quickly transcended music itself, becoming a symbol of hope, freedom, and a better future. Scorpions didn't just gain another hit record, they became part of history. Number 5. Keep the Faith, Bon Jovi.
Please believe me.
The early 1990s saw many rock empires begin to crumble. Grunge was sweeping across the music industry, and countless bands that had dominated the 1980s were disappearing from the charts. Many believed Bon Jovi would be next. But instead of surrendering, they chose to evolve. Keep the Faith introduced a more mature, confident, and modern version of Bon Jovi. It was a risky gamble. Had it failed, the band might have followed the same path as many of their contemporaries. Instead, audiences embraced the change. Keep the Faith didn't just save Bon Jovi from fading away, it allowed them to survive and thrive during a period when many other rock giants simply disappeared.
Number 4. I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, Aerosmith.
Just to hear you breathing.
By the late 1990s, Aerosmith was already a legendary band, but even legends cannot escape the passage of time. A new generation of listeners was emerging, and Aerosmith needed a bridge to reach them. That opportunity arrived with the blockbuster film Armageddon. As I Don't Want to Miss a Thing played during some of the movie's most emotional moments, audiences around the world were captivated. The song quickly became a global phenomenon and earned Aerosmith their very first #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 after decades in the business. It wasn't just another successful single. It was the moment Aerosmith proved they could still capture the hearts of an entirely new generation.
Number 3. The Final Countdown, Europe.
Before 1986, Europe was primarily known in Sweden and a handful of European countries. But becoming an international superstar is an entirely different challenge. Then came that iconic keyboard intro. Just a few seconds were enough for listeners to recognize it instantly.
It's the final countdown.
The Final Countdown spread across the world at an astonishing pace. It was everywhere, on radio stations, television programs, sports arenas, and concert stages. Almost overnight, Europe went from a band searching for a breakthrough to a global sensation. One song, one moment, one career forever changed.
Number 2.
Livin' on a Prayer, Bon Jovi.
Tommy used to work on the
Every
docks.
band dreamed of creating a song that defines its entire legacy. For Bon Jovi, that song was Livin' on a Prayer. The track tells the story of Tommy and Gina, two ordinary people struggling to hold on to hope while facing life's challenges. That simple and relatable story resonated with millions around the world. When the chorus kicked in, audiences sang along everywhere. From neighborhood bars to massive stadiums, Livin' on a Prayer became impossible to escape. The song transformed Bon Jovi into one of the biggest bands on the planet and became an anthem for an entire generation. If there was one song that elevated Bon Jovi into the ranks of rock immortality, this was it. Number 1. Dream On, Aerosmith.
Every time that I look in the mirror.
Every legend has a defining moment. For Aerosmith, that moment was Dream On. When the song was first released in 1973, success was modest at best. The band was still struggling to survive in an intensely competitive music industry. There were no packed arenas, no multi-million selling albums, no guarantee that Aerosmith would even still exist a few years later. But they refused to give up. Then, in 1976, after being re-released, Dream On finally exploded. The song broke into the US top 10 and turned Aerosmith into a nationally recognized act for the very first time.
My life's in books, written pages.
At last, the door to success had opened. Bigger tours followed, more fans arrived, new opportunities appeared everywhere. Looking back today, it's difficult to imagine Aerosmith becoming one of rock's greatest bands without Dream On. This wasn't simply the song that saved their career. It was the song that created the legend in the first place. It's amazing to think that many of these songs were never guaranteed to succeed. Some were considered risky, some were unexpected hits, and some nearly didn't happen at all. Yet each of them proved the same thing. Sometimes one song is all it takes to change a band's destiny. Without Dream On, Aerosmith might never have become a household name. Without Livin' on a Prayer, Bon Jovi may never have reached legendary status. And without the songs on today's list, rock history might look very different. That's the incredible power of music. A few minutes on a record can create a legacy that lasts for generations. Now we'd like to hear from you. Which song do you think saved a band's career in the most dramatic way? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another countdown. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.